Tokyo, my dear friends. This is Daisuke, and I very much hope that this video finds you well and in very good spirits wherever you are in the world. And over the course of a number of videos up to now, it has been my great honor and privilege to have been able to share with you just a little bit of some of my favorites of the year with regard to the Criterion Collection 2021 releases. So now where I am, it is in the evening hours of December 31st. So there are a few hours left before the year's end and we enter into a new year. But during this time, I wanted to share one more video talking about my overall favorite releases of this year, 2021, in the Criterion Collection. So I've spoken in the past about my favorite, say, upgrade releases, or my favorite individual new releases, or collector set releases, etc. Now what I'd like to do is I'd like to present a type of comprehensive overall favorites list. My favorite, top 10 favorite overall releases from Criterion. And so I think it should more or less correspond with the order that was seen in some of my other lists. Not all of them necessarily, but generally speaking, I think it should correspond to that order. But more or less, I wanted to make a comprehensive one and then limit it to 10. So without further ado, let me share with you my top 10 favorite overall releases from the Criterion Collection during this year of 2021. Number 10, and this is a collector set, a box set from Criterion, and it is a set which has a number of films. Let me mention those films first. The first is The Story of a 3-Day Pass from 1967. Next is Watermelon Man from 1970. And next is Sweet Sweetback's Badass Song from 1971. And then last, but certainly not least, is Don't Play Us Cheap, 1972. And of course, I'm referring to this grand, majestic, brilliant set, which is called Melvin Van Peebles Essential Films. And I've spoken a little bit about this set in a prior video, as well as other videos over the course of the year. But let me just say one more time that this is, it has the word essential in the title of the set. It is essential. You circle that, highlight it with the highlighters, and use as many colors as you can, because it is really essential. Really essential. And it is a celebration of the legacy of the filmmaking genius and prowess that is that wonderful, multi-talented artist extraordinaire, Melvin Van Peebles. And this is a celebration of his work and his life. And my goodness, the films that are included, there is so much scope and breadth. There's a type of range that is unbelievable. And the differences, as well as the similarities, I think, are what makes the set a very standout set indeed. And so Criterion, having released this, thank you so much. This is a great celebration of the art of this great artist. This is Melvin Van Peebles' Essential Films. Number 9 in my overall favorites list. This is also a collector's set in that it has a number of films included, and let me mention what those films are in terms of the featured films. Ethnic Notions, Tongues Untied, Affirmations, Anthem, Color Adjustment, No, Je ne regrette rien, or No Regret. Black is, Black ain't. And this set overall is given spine number 1082. I've spoken about this set before, but let me have one more opportunity to speak about this. The signifying works of Marlon Riggs. I, again, cannot emphasize enough just how moving and how utterly enlightening this particular set of films is, from this filmmaker who really showed us his very soul. He showed us his body and spirit and soul. And and his life, and indeed his death. And it is so all-encompassing and awe-inspiring, and so thoroughly thought-provoking, and makes the set so emotional, very much just to think about the various dynamics that are being presented here and discussed here, in the way that they are being discussed and portrayed. It is very emotional indeed. So this set is one of the best. So one of my favorites of the year, The Signifying Works of Marlon Riggs. Number 8 in my overall favorites, and this is the work at spine number 1073. The film is from 2003. The filmmaker is Bong Joon-ho. Memories of Murder. Now, I've mentioned it before, but I'll say it again. This is so multi-leveled. The textures are vivid and precise and devastating and hilarious. And so it touches upon so many aspects of the human condition while being also very much centered on specific aspects of 20th century history and recent history and social events that are very much a part of the society and history of Korea, as well as being this top-notch, really suspenseful and horrifying and gruesome thriller, horror film, serial killer type of film, police procedural, as well as being a human drama and a mystery. And that mystery is also embedded in real life forms that we understand Bong Joon-ho himself was invested in. And so there's so much going on here in this complex web that is utterly entertaining. Well done to Criterion for being able to include it this year, that being the film Memories of Murder. Next is number 7, my 7th favorite overall release from the Criterion collection this year. And this is the work from, designated at spine number 1070, 1996's work from Mike Lee, and it is this Secrets and Lies. I love this work so much. I really do. I cherish every moment, and I love the characters, and the characters have their little quirks and their little idiosyncratic behavioral aspects, and sometimes they get on my nerves a little bit, but that's okay. That's part of the experience of watching a film like this, and all those little details come to the fore. Sometimes they recede in the background, but then they come to the fore. There's always a sense of balance, and when that balance strikes, my goodness, it strikes and then some. This is a tour de force of a film. Mike Lee has so many works in his brilliant filmography. And this is one of the highlights for me. This is Secrets and Lies. Number 6, my 6th favorite overall release from Criterion Collections. I've mentioned this title a number of times already, but let me mention it one more time. It's certainly worth it because what a work this is. Towering, majestic, intimate, mysterious. Everything and so much more. Spy number 1084, 1975's film by Tarkovsky. Mirror. And it is a film that has so many facets to it, so many mysteries to it, so many ways of reading it, looking into it, experiencing it on an emotional level, on an intellectual level, on a spiritual level. That's one of the great strengths of Tarkovsky's art. And it is on full display in this towering achievement, which is Mirror. And number 5, my 5th favorite overall release from Criterion this year in 2021, is a work designated at spine number 1063 from 1977. Excuse me, the year is 1977, and the filmmaker is Larisa Shepitska. And Shepitska's work here is The Ascent. The Ascent is essential viewing. It is awe-inspiring. It is frightening. It is chilly. It is also very it transcends so many things. It has a sense of the spiritual, the metaphysical, and the human endeavor, and the way that the environment and nature are captured, the way that the horrors of war are captured, the way that the precise horror of human psychology in the context of war, how this is also captured, and also the way in which characters find a sense of salvation or find a sense of damnation, whatever the case may be. It is all here in this wide-ranging, thoroughly engaging, and very spiritual work of art indeed. This is, again, another film for the ages, a film that is deserving of as much attention as possible, and I wish it gets it. And I truly hope that if you haven't seen this film already, please do. It is very powerful indeed. This is the film by Larisa Shepytka, and the work is The Ascent. Now we're down to my final four, my four favorite overall releases. Number 4 is the work designated at spy number 1077. The year is 1998. The filmmaker is Ho Xiaoxian, and the name of the work is, in English, Flowers of Shanghai. Flowers of Shanghai I've mentioned before, but let me say one more time. It is a gripping, crystal-like, poetic, beautiful wonder of cinema. And it is hot, it is cold, it is about history, it is also about the modern day. It has so many twists and turns while being also a beautifully rendered, almost chamber setting type of play, which also has multi-dimensions, a three-dimensional aspect to it. And so it remains this intriguing, mysterious work that is also utterly enchanting and very beautiful. And it's a film that has many different facets to it and make it so rich and rewarding every single time. This is so great. So, Flowers of Shanghai, my number 4 favorite overall release from Criterion. Down to the final 3. So my number 3 overall favorite release from Criterion this year, 2021. It is a film designated spy number 1101, and it is a film from 2019. The filmmakers are Josh Safdie and Benny Safdie. It is this film, Uncut Gems. Let me just one more time, please. Pardon me for the indulgence. One more time, let me just do the little swivel here with the light. I love it how it just shines off, and it's so great. You know, it has the gray tone, but also when you turn it, it has that wonderful sense of color. And I think that's a great way of thinking about this film, how it has the darkness and the real tragic aspects and the horrifying aspects on the one hand, but then it has those flashes of color and energy and drive and the pressing forward, the push forward, when all might seem totally hopeless and totally lost. There's always the character, personification of this character, Howard. And no matter what happens, he will always do his best to pick himself up and try once again. And no matter what the circumstances may be, my goodness, he will keep on trying, will he not? And so this is just a great adventure. It is exhilarating. It is exhausting. It has that sense of adrenaline rush and the high stakes, and while being so utterly thrilling and entertaining to boot. This is a great film, and I'm so happy to have been able to explore it further with this great Criterion release. This is the film Uncut Gems. Number 2, my second overall favorite release from the Criterion collection this year. And this is a film that I've mentioned it before. It is so near and dear to me. I've seen it so many times, saw it so many times in the theater, and I've seen it so many times since. Every time I see it, I think I don't know how much I understand of it at all. And in fact, the more I see it, the more I realize just how little I understand of it. But I think that's part of the charm, that's part of the strength, that's part of the allure of the mesmerizing, mysterious, and magnetic nature of this work, which is from 2001, spine number 779. The filmmaker is the one, the only, David Lynch, and the name of the work is Mulholland Drive. And we had the occasion of this re-release of this film, but this time taking advantage of the new format, the physical media format, and the first foray, the first step by Criterion officially in terms of release scheduling into this format world with this film. And it was a great occasion to explore the format, of course, but I think overall it was a great occasion to visit or revisit this film. And so, wow, 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 wow. Mulholland Drive is back again in the collection, and I think it is a great cause for celebration. Mulholland Drive is my second overall favorite release from Criterion this year, 2021. And so let me now reveal my favorite overall release from the Criterion collection during this year of 2021. And as I say, it was very difficult on the one hand because there's so many titles, but at the same time, I was reminded about just how affected I was and am whenever I watch this film. And so that way of the film affecting me makes this, therefore, my overall favorite release from Criterion. It is the film designated at spine number 1102 from 1960. The filmmaker is Satyajit Ray, and it is this, Davy. I adore this film. I absolutely adore this film. I think it is magical. It is so very, it's topical, and it is frightening, and it has this air of sadness, and also has the air of a type of hope, while at the same time acknowledging difficulties of modernity, while at the same time expressing this very vivid human story, this human drama, where, as I said before, the stakes are enormous. But that's part of the draw, that's part of the allure, and that's part of the tragedy that is involved in the story that is Davy. I cannot get enough of this. I think this is awe-inspiring. It is thoroughly engaging, so tender and heartwarming, and also it breaks one's heart at just the right places. The drama is perfectly placed and perfectly timed, and it is a story told by one of the great masters of cinema, Satyajit Ray. This is the work Davy. And please, yes, one more time, let me say, my favorite overall release from the Criterion collection during this year of 2021 is this work, spine number 1102. For the filmmaker is Satyajit Ray. The film is from 1960, and it is Davy.